Here's a rephrased version of the article. In the latest developments from the Middle East, the Israeli military has conducted what it calls extensive airstrikes across various cities in Gaza. This represents the largest wave of strikes since a ceasefire with Hamas took effect in January. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, have issued new evacuation orders for the areas of Beitanoun, Huzza, Al-Basan, Al-Abir, and Al-Jad. As the strikes continue, the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry reported that at least 413 people have been killed, including a senior Hamas official, Mahmoud Abi Wafa. Hamas blames the deadly strikes on the US's unconditional support for Israel. Meanwhile, the Red Cross stated that many medical facilities in Gaza are overwhelmed by the influx of casualties, especially at the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis, which has been a major destination for the wounded. The Israeli Prime Minister's office issued a statement instructing the military to take aggressive action against Hamas, citing the group's refusal to renegotiate the ceasefire under Israel's terms. An Israeli official told AFP that the operation will continue indefinitely and will extend beyond airstrikes. Hamas, on the other hand, accuses Israel of violating and overturning the ceasefire agreement, despite Hamas offering to extend it. The airstrikes have drawn international criticism. Iran condemned Israel's actions, calling them a continuation of genocide, while Jordan labeled them as barbaric. John Donison, reporting from Israel's southern border, describes hearing explosions and machine gun fire from Gaza, with fighter jets seen overhead. He notes that this has been one of the deadliest days in the conflict since October 7, 2023, as hospitals continue to be overwhelmed. A soldier he spoke to shared that he had received orders to prepare for a possible ground invasion, suggesting that a full-scale military operation may be imminent. In Gaza City, footage of classrooms reduced to rubble after the airstrikes has surfaced. As of the latest reports, the death toll stands at 413, with hundreds more injured. Red Cross officials said they are struggling to provide medical treatment in the face of such overwhelming need. Rashi Abu Alu, reporting from Gaza, noted that although airstrikes have decreased in intensity since the early morning hours, they are still ongoing. There is a severe shortage of food, water, and fuel, but the situation is not as dire as it was earlier in the war. Despite this, people in Gaza had been experiencing relative calm during the ceasefire, especially in the early days of Ramadan, before these latest strikes. The situation on the ground is dire. The latest estimates from the Gaza Health Ministry report over 413 deaths and hundreds of injuries from the airstrikes. The Red Cross has stated that medical facilities are overwhelmed and struggling to provide care. Meanwhile, families of those still held hostage by Hamas have begun protesting in Jerusalem, accusing the Israeli government of sacrificing their loved ones as military action intensifies. Israel says 59 hostages are still being held, some of whom are presumed dead. The families are urgently calling for the safe return of the hostages, fearing that the military pressure will endanger their lives further. As Israeli airstrikes continue, the conflict shows no signs of letting up. International voices, including those from the European Union, have called for an end to the escalation, but the situation remains critical. This rephrased version conveys the key events while using different phrasing for a fresh perspective. Let me know if you'd like to adjust anything further.